Here are 3 profit mistakes you're probably making with your email list. So you've got an email list, there's a bunch of people who've opted in, who've given you their emails, and you've probably heard before that an email list is a super powerful way to make lots of money for your business. But why is it not happening? It's supposed to be $1 per every subscriber per month, right? Well, my friend, you're probably making one of these 3 profit mistakes with your email list, and that's what I'm going to cover with you today in this video. So I've actually been managing lists since about August, not a long time, but I've been able to walk in there after 2.5 years of being a copywriter and then walk into people's email lists and seeing people are really disorganized with their list. And it's given me a super good opportunity to see, wow, this is a fully functioning business, but there's absolutely no strategy with their email content and their email marketing. Let's go in there and fix this up. And along the way, I found a lot of similar patterns that have gone on with clients. Now, it's been my job to go in there as a strategist and a copywriter and say like, oh, how can we make more money out of the situation? Now, in this video today, I want to walk through those big problems that we solved and maybe some of those problems that you're facing right now. Now, before we get to the good stuff, if you've just tuned in, hey, my name is Jules Dan. I'm a freelance copywriter. And like I just said, an email list manager. And on this channel, we talk about how to get more customers, how to make more per customer, and to keep them coming back with the power of the pen, so you're in the right place, especially when it comes to email marketing. Today I want to be short, sharp, and sweet because I've had a lot of interesting experiences as a list manager, and I definitely want to create a Diaries of a List Manager series as well to go into a lot of the trials and tribulations of being one myself. Don't tell my clients, but I absolutely winged it the first couple of months. That's not important because the important part is the results, and we're gonna help get you results in this video today. How are we gonna do that? Well, we're gonna fix up these 3 common mistakes. Mistake number 1, it's not emailing your list regularly enough. Absolutely shocking, right? Here's a common belief I wanna help you get around. Giving how-to content is not the only currency of value. There are other ways to do this, and if you're just sending a blog post or a piece of content or like a podcast once or twice a week, people are gonna switch off. And this is something I've been seeing with some of my clients. That's what they were doing before we came along. It's like, let's send to a blog post. Hey, why am I not making any money out of this? Well, that's the first reason why. I want you to imagine your email list is a place where all your customers hang out, obviously. So this is where they are, and this is where they want to go. This is like a promised land. And that bridge in between is your solution. So giving them all this how-to stuff is not going to necessarily help them get there. All that stuff in the middle is like bad behaviors, bad stories, and just bullshit that they've believed along the way, and that's in that middle part. And it's our job with the email content is for them to see this problem and to bridge the gap to saying like, hey, I need some help with this space. So what does that actually mean in terms of writing content for email? Well, it's probably a good idea to write down all these beliefs, all these fake stories, all these bullshit things that are reason why they can't achieve that result, and then turn your life into a story that turns them into content. And at the same time, we have to make people connect with you so they can like it, they can trust you. So how do you do that? Well, you intertwine your personal life, your hobbies, you've got what are you into, movies you've watched, books you've read. Like with one of my clients, Troy, you bet that I'm going to intertwine his love for guitar, his love for drums. He's built this content studio, making people feel like they've been a part of that journey. And then transitioning into how his lessons of guitar translates over into shifting a belief. So if you are going to email more regularly, make sure it's not more how-to content. Make sure you're actually thinking about what are those beliefs that need to overcome, and then how can I intertwine my own personal life so it's just not me lecturing and telling them exactly what to do, but it's just telling your own experience and being like, maybe you can relate. So I hope that makes sense. Okay, mistake number 2, and that is treating your list like an ATM. So I know what all the big affiliate gurus and YouTube ads are saying, like build a list, makes a bunch of money, send the bill to the herd. That's what Dan Kennedy said. But here's the thing, it's really interesting. There's actually people behind that email list. Oh my God. Yeah, so we actually got to treat this list with a bit of respect. Now, I learned this firsthand with one of my clients, John. So John has an email list. He's built it from some YouTube ads. They've opted him to watch a video sales letter. Which, by the way, if you want to learn how to write a video sales letter, check out the link in the description for a full playlist. John built this email list from YouTube ads, but he actually had done nothing with that email list. I go in, create a reactivation campaign, make a cool, 15K out of it, keep writing some emails, start getting a bunch of leads. In the first month, we made 70K. Oh, it's looking great. Second month, do another 70K. This is amazing. Third month, ooh, things start to fizzle a little bit. What's going on? So what's happened is we've kind of just picked up all the low-hanging fruit and the list is just sort of dried out now. I could have just kept going offer, but what I was seeing, if you look at the data is really interesting, is that less and less people booking for calls, less people opening emails, less people clicking on the emails. You know what that means? We're being a little too transactional now. There weren't enough emails that just had no pitch, that gave them some hope, some inspiration, that also shifted some beliefs, you know? Sometimes you might just have it in the bottom of the email, something like, maybe something to think about this week. Super low key. Or even a PS being like, what's been something inspiring that's lifted you up this week? You'd be very surprised how much the mood and attitude lifts when you start changing communication based off this. Now, you're not going to get a lot of people replying. That's fine. You get 1 or 2 really nice replies. That's what you want, because if that 1 or 2 people are thinking that, then the rest of the list are probably getting that impression too. So the big lesson here is, don't just pick up all the low-hanging fruit by going offer. Probably a good idea to not make a pitch in every single email and build a relationship and make them feel like, hey, this person actually cares about me. Okay, third and final mistake, super quick here. Third, final mistake, and that's not using email in all the other components of your business where you pick up money along the way. So what do I mean by this? Well, what are the other revenue generating activities? I'm gonna say there's sales calls. What happens before the sales call? Oh, showing up to sales calls. And then what happens after that? Well, it's actually onboarding the client. Like, we need a good onboarding experience, right? Like, can you imagine signing up for $10,000 coaching program and then not hearing back for a week? Not making them feel like, hey, you've made the right decision? Or you're booking for an accounting appointment and you're not even sure if it's actually gonna happen. So maybe that's why you ghost. Well, this is where email can really come into play. And with the clients that I've worked with, going in there, no one has these systems set up. Why? Because they just take time. They take a lot of bandwidth up, and most people just don't have the strategy. If you're a list owner right now, you're by yourself maybe, or you've got a couple of people in your team, there's really no need to overthink this. Here's a strategy you just got to work backwards from. Let's just say someone's booked in for a sales call. Work backwards from there. What do they need to know before they come onto this call? Okay, they need to know you're a trusted advisor. They need to know you're a cool person and you're likable as well. And that, you know, they're going to have a good time on the call. So what does that look like in terms of a sequence? Then coming onto a call. I know you can get creative with that. I've actually done other videos on this as well. So if you want to go check that out, links in the description below. And the topic of onboarding. So how do you onboard a client? How do you make them feel like they've made the right decision? If they were to get on an onboarding call with a coach or something, what would that coach talk about? How would they get them quick wins? So maybe that's something you could try and think about when it comes to writing an onboarding sequence. There's no definitive step 1, step 2. I can give you guides and principles, but the best way is to see how your onboarding process works and then deconstruct that and digitize it so that people can at least feel like, okay, I made the right decision. But I'll give you some hints because I know that's what you want. So, overcoming beliefs that, oh shit, this is the wrong decision. Bring up some case studies. Making sure you give them some links so they can book in a time and have a chat with a real person. Maybe breaking down some of those key modules so that they can go through in the first 14 days and feel like I'm making progress. You see what I mean? So if these tips are making sense, they're really resonating with you, and you feel like you can get something out of this, I'd really appreciate it if you would hit thumbs up. Now, wrap this all up in a nice little bow. What are those 3 mistakes you want to avoid? First is not emailing your list regularly enough. Second is treating your list like an ATM and not really giving back with the emotional feel goods. And the third part is not having sequences with critical revenue producing or revenue losing activities like onboarding, showing up to sales calls, that sort of thing. So if you really enjoyed this content, then you want to check out my other playlist as well. It's all about email marketing. You're going to find heaps of really good stuff in there. But that's it from me. My name is Jules Dan. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you around for the next video.